Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to IVDC. We are back here at Atron at round 5. You guys are excited because I am, and we have a plethora of talent out here for this competition. So we're gonna get ready. We're getting everybody situated, and we're gonna get this party started. For the people that are watching, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I hope you guys are rooting on for the people that you want to see moving on. Let's see. We're going to be loaded up into the servers shortly. And I hope this Atron track is one of my favorites. It's actually my favorite Russian Drift Series tracks. It's got a very technical final portion of the track. It's a high-speed initiation going through outer zone 1 and 2. Big e-brake pull going to outer zone 1, riding that wall all the way into outer zone 2, then diving into inner clip 1. And then the S turns that you're gonna see is kind of reminds me of a winding dragon going all the way around to the finish line. You have a 3 outer zones going all the way to the finish line on the back half of the track. But I'm excited to see how these guys are gonna fight it out and have a clean tandem. It's a little bit of a choke point going into those little S turns towards the end of the track, but my goodness, this is gonna be a wonderful evening or morning for you guys. Over here in the United States, it's 9 in the morning. We're waiting for our first drivers to get ready, and they already just stop practices. We have Alexei Avakov having a bye run, and we're gonna go over this little layout over here. Alexei Avakov is in that R34, gonna line up. He's about to take off and show us how it's supposed to be done. Here we go. Alexei Avakov coming in here. Just rolling up. Nice initiation to that first outer zone, and then he gets back on throttle going to outer zone 2, getting close proximity to that wall, hitting that inner clip. Outer zone 3 filled out beautifully, transitioning to outer zone 4, and here's another huge flick into the final outer zone 5. So going from outer zone 3 to 4, there's a little slight kind of choke up right there for the chase driver. That's gonna be, we're gonna look at this, but next we're gonna see our next drivers. Alexei Avakov has a pretty easy movement to the top 16. Next will be Maxim versus Dennis. Maxim is and Dennis. This is the mid pack of the qualifying scores, so this should be a pretty even battle for both of these drivers. There we go. Maxim Egorov is going to be in the lead. Here we go. Maxim in the lead. Dennis in the chase. Giving them some space to initiate into that first outer zone. Maxim is using some momentum from that initiation. A real nice aggressive flick going to outer zone 2. And going into inner clip 1 is beautiful momentum. Here comes Dennis coming in, diving Angling up to try to give him some room. Not as close proximity as we're normally used to seeing some of these drivers out here, but Maxim did a great job in the lead, filling out each zone and giving them a chaseable lead. Now we have Dennis going to be in the chase. Dennis is going to be in the lead. Maxim is going to be in the chase. Here we go. It's our first battle of the competition. We saw a buy run earlier. Dennis is coming out here with that R34. Beautiful initiation from Dennis. As we see, Maxim had to initiate a little bit shallow of a line, but he is staying right in that proximity and closing in on that door of Dennis, as Dennis is filling out each zone and coming in with huge angle of whiz. That proximity is, my goodness. Oh, Maxim taps him in that final outer zone. Maxim had a lot of angle on outer zone 3 and 4, and I think that choked him up, made him dive in a little bit too forward in the pocket. That forced the contact towards the end. A little bit of a mistake during the beginning. And it looks like Dennis is getting the win and moving on to the top 16. Next, we're going to have Arhip versus Vadim Antropov. Arhim Mashurin coming out here. He's going to be in the lead. Oh, it looks like Christian Petrov. We're going to skip that battle. Christian Petrov is coming out here. He's going to be in the lead versus Artem. Christian Petrov with that BMW wagon. And then we have Artem with the IVDC BMW E92. Seems like they need to reline up a little bit. I think Christian Petrov was trying to cheat a little bit, staying on the left side of those cones. Christian Petrov is with the Skuko team. Let's see how this wagon holds up out here. Beautiful flick. Oh, huge contact from Artem, sending Christian all the way out. Going into the finishing off on this track. Artem is gonna finish that lap out, but I'm not too sure how that is gonna affect him on the lead. Really hot coming into that first outer zone in the chase from Artem, and it forced that contact against Christian Petrov. Literally sent him straight to Narnia. Christian Petrov is loaded back into the server. Now we have Christian Petrov coming up to the line. Seemed like there's some connection issue from Christian that forced him to get kicked out of the server, but we'll see what happens. We have Christian coming out here. Christian Petrov is kind of confused right now, but here he comes, coming up to the line. A little bit of sportsmanship in the lobby, and it was apologizing for that contact. But here we go. Artem coming out here, filling out the second outer zone like a gangster, going into that inner clip. Artem, outer zone 3 is fantastic from Artem, going into outer zone 4. Christian Petrov is just trying to keep that proximity. A beautiful showing out here from Artem in the lead. We're seeing how these guys are tackling this course. Some of them are loving that e-brake pull going into that first outer zone and hucking it all the way out. Christian Petrov gets the win. Is moving on to the top 16. We already got our first battle lined up for the top 16 on the bracket. It's going to be Alexei versus Dennis. Christian Petrov is going to be in the second half of this battle, but it looks like Arhip Mashurin is going to be getting a bye run, so he's going to move to the top 16. And it's great to see that kind of show it out here. These guys just doing what they have to do. Unfortunately, some of the guys are not in the server, and we're gonna see Arhip take it away. Yeah, it was a great lap from Arhip, filling out each zone, just doing his buy run, showing him what he has to offer on his lead runs. Just doing some nice little stunt driving there too, showing off a little bit. Arp is just being a show off out here, just driving in reverse everywhere he's going. If he parks driving in reverse in his spot, I might lose. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a little bit more classy there, but it was driving through the back half of the track, just in reverse. It was pretty gnarly. I don't know how you could do that on the sim. There we go. We got our next battle coming up. The top 16 battle. Alexei Avakov versus Dennis. Here we go. Alexei. 2R34s coming out here. IBDC R34's public pack. Alexei in the lead. Dennis is going to be in the chase. E-brake pull initiation from Alexei to get himself into that zone. Gets back on throttle and just guns it through outer zone 2. Nice angle. Here comes that sharp transition from Alexei Avakov coming in to outer zone 4. Oh my goodness. Filling out each zone, being a straight savage. Dennis is a little bit too far forward in the pocket throughout the whole lap. But we're going to see how they switch sides. Dennis had an active chase on there. I don't know if it's going to be enough, especially if Alexi stays in that pocket and stays in proximity throughout the whole run. There you go. Dennis is going to be in the lead. Alexi is going to be in the chase. Alexi has to just play it a little bit safe in the chase and stay right there in proximity, a little bit far forward in the pocket. Dennis fills out the zone. Alexi dives right in and stays in close proximity real early on that transition, but going out here and shredding tires with Dennis and staying clean as can be through each zone. Dennis does a great job with the lead run, filling out each zone with nice angle, nice momentum, and a nice line throughout each part of that track. Judges are going to be coming up with a decision. And it looks like Alexi gets the win. Now we're going to have Arhip versus Christian Petrov. Christian Petrov is going to be in the chase. This is a move on to the grade 8. Here we go. Arhip is in that S chassis. S15. With the Speed for Fun livery. And you have Christian Petrov in that BMW with the Escuco livery. Kind of getting a little bit gapped on the first outer zone, but there he goes, reeling him in. Christian Petrov is diving forward in the pocket. A little bit of a cheat going in to that track to cut that line a little bit. But my goodness, Arhip is just filling out each zone with that S chassis, being super aggressive. But here comes Christian Petrov. Oh, a little bit early on that transition, but dives right back in the pocket, uses some left foot braking to keep that proximity. We're gonna have them switch sides a little bit. It's a kind of a sloppy chase from Christian. I'm not used to seeing that from him, but now we're gonna see Arhip out here with the S chassis. Arhip is in that S14.9. Arhip is giving him some room, getting ready, using some momentum on that start line. Christian Petrov is now in a drag race with the Arhip, but now here he goes. Beautiful initiation from Christian. And here comes Arhip diving into that pocket. Christian Petrov fills out each zones. Oh, that's a big tire drop on that outer zone. Christian Petrov uses some left foot braking to stay in that zone and filling out every zone, but Arhip is keeping door to door throughout the whole battle. Beautiful. Judges are going over it. They're probably coming up with a decision really quick right here. After this, we're going to see a grade 8 battle to see who moves on to the finals. Christian Petrov did a good job in the chase. The lead run was beautiful, but I think Christian Petrov's chase was a little bit too sloppy from what we're used to. And then he tire dropped on outer zone 3, going to outer zone 4. Arhip was doing a fantastic job on keeping that proximity throughout the whole run. And it looks like Christian Petrov gets the win. Moves on. I think it was a little bit of a tit for tat. Who had the most mistakes? Who had the least mistakes? Christian Petrov did have a smooth, consistent line throughout the whole track, keeping momentum out. Now we're gonna see our grade A battle. Alexei Avakov versus Christian Petrov. Christian Petrov coming out here. Alexei, nice initiation going into that first outer zone. Christian Petrov is a little bit shaky on that initiation, but my goodness, and it's getting all the way up to that door, giving him some room, using some left foot braking to keep that momentum where he needs to be to stay right there in the fight. Alexei Avakov out there shredding tires in that R34. Now we're gonna have them switch sides the second lap of this battle. Christian Petrov is gonna be in the lead. Alexei is gonna be in the chase. Here we go. Nice initiation from Christian. Super aggressive with that momentum. But Alexei is keeping proximity throughout each zone. Gives him some room on outer zone 3. Now he's going to dive right back into the pocket in outer zone 4. Keeping that proximity all the way throughout the whole track. Christian Petrov might have met his match. That was a beautiful run from both drivers. And it looks like Alexei Avakov gets the win and moves on to the final 4. We're going to have a server reset, and we're going to get ready for our next group. It's going to be the bottom left part of this bracket. I'm going to get ready for these guys to shred some tires. We're going to see the bottom half of this left side of the bracket. We got Vadim Abramov out here, Braden Swan, Michael Traub. These guys are pretty well-known names in IVDC throughout the season. And here we go. Right now we have Alexei Abakov. He's going to be in the final four. We're going to see who's going to be battling him in the final four. These guys are going to be practicing out here, doing some laps. Vadim Abramov is in the RDR Mustang. And Ivan is driving in VR. It's pretty cool to see competitive drivers out here in VR trying to get their feel. Vadim Abramov is just straight shredding the tires, getting really close proximity to that wall. You know, Blake in the chat. How you doing, Blake? We got Levy out here. He's going to be in the Nissan Skyline, excuse me. Vadim Abramov qualified in fourth. And we have Levy's, he qualified in 29th. But Vadim Abramov is just looking very, very locked in throughout practice. Looks like there was a server reset to get everything situated. Just cracked open my Liquid Death. Need my sparkling water while I commentate. Liquid Death, sponsor me. I hope you guys are doing well, though. This is a Sunday morning. Beautiful Sunday morning down here where I'm at in Florida. A little bit cloudy out there, but it's giving us some good shade wherever you guys are at. Hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful day. Blake, hope you're doing well, my man. Some of these drivers are actually going to be driving in the Drift Masters Virtual, which is going to be awesome to see. Vadim Abramov is one of the drivers that's be going in there. And it's going to be a exciting adventure for these drivers to get that knowledge, not knowledge, but that recognition in the virtual world if they get into the top 32 battles. Okay, we have these guys getting ready. Michael Traub with that S chassis. Beautiful S chassis, S15 livery. It's a pink and white. Looks like Michael Traub might be struggling going from outer zone 1 to 2, but it's so crazy to see how feisty Vadim Abramov has been throughout this whole competition with this RTR Mustang, because I'm used to seeing him in a flanker. First time I ever seen him compete was in a flanker in IVDC, as well as in CNDS and other competitions. And I think Vadim Abramov is losing some bumpers out here. We're gonna have Vadim Abramov. He's gonna be in the lead. I think Vadim Abramov had to found a budget in his bumper, found a bumper, put it on into the back. There we go. First battle of Group B, top 32 battle. Lights are green. Oh no, Levy was a little bit sleeping on that line. Vadim Abramov just comes out here, just straight shredded tires. In the outer zone, 1, 2, fills it out very deep, diving into inner clip 1. Beautiful transition is gangster from Vadim Abramov going into the 4th outer zone. Oh my God, flirting with this disaster right there. Just riding the outer line of each zone. Beautiful performance. Levi was it's a little bit shaky. Don't even know if that was really an active chase. He was really far back, but we'll see how this gets underway with the second lap of this battle. Vadim Abramov, I think it's safe to say he just needs an active chase to seal the deal on this one. Levy is coming out here. Vadim Abramov seems to be real feisty going out there. Vadim, the Count Abramov, looking to sink his teeth into this competition. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, that initiation was aggressive from Levy. But Vadim Abramov is coming in here, using some left foot braking to dive into the pocket. Looks like he was struggling on that transition a little bit. Levy was a little bit late on that transition, but oh my goodness. The proximity from Vadim Abramov out here. Beautiful. Believe they're going to be looking at the replay on this to see if that was a full straighten due to the lead driver. I could see this going into a one more time if they both zeroed the runs. But if you're going to go lead versus lead, chase versus chase, there's no chase runs. You got 2 lead runs coming out here. And if you're the first time watching a drift competition, you got these guys battling it out. You're going to be 1 lead, 1 chase. And then they switch sides, 2 laps. So having a complete lead run, you're going through each zones, filling it out, going through what the judges have talked about. No decelling in acceleration zones, going throughout the whole track. There's certain kind of details that these drivers have to go through before the competition that they're not supposed to do. So what I mean by decel zone, if you're supposed to be on power throughout the zones and you lift off the throttle or just e-brake at the wrong time just to slow the car down so you can stay in track, it's an unwarranted decel. It could cause a choke up for the chase driver. You want to have a chaseable lead, so you could make a battle happen. You can't have a unchaseable lead and force that chase driver to kind of straighten down. But if you saw how Vadim Abramov initiated into that first outer zone, he just flicked that thing in there, pulled the e-brake, and just hucked it into that wall. A-Tron is, like I said earlier, one of my favorite tracks because that initiation is so high speed, and then you're flirting with disaster on outer zone 2 to be super aggressive and keeping that proximity to that wall. And then you have to try to dive that using that momentum. You have to kind of like slow it down and then grip up to dive into inner clip 1, which is such a cool, unique aspect of it. But it also kind of reminds me of how the outer zone or inner clip 1 and 2 to outer zone 3 or 1 and 2 in Road Atlanta. How that layout is when you're going into that momentum, fighting through everything. You have to force your car to do what you needed to do to dive into the inner clip so you could get into that momentum and that speed. I love this track. It's such a cool layout. But it does look like Vadim Abramov might have been choked up a little bit from outer zone 3 to outer zone 4, but we'll see what the judges will say. Drifting is a motorsport that you never know what's going to happen as a judge motorsport. But it can be a slugfest at times, especially with these top drivers out here. The Final 4 battles, you're going to see more of a slugfest usually. But even in the top 32 battles, you'll get a matchup that's a Final 4 battle. And it starts off right off the rip as a slugfest. And it's gonna look like a one more time for these drivers. Looks like it was gonna be both chase runs zeroed out. From what I'm thinking, it's most likely both chase runs zeroed out, and then they both had equal amount of mistakes on the lead runs. So we're gonna see them run it back. Here we go. Vadim Abramov versus Levy. So our first one more time battle in this competition. They're doing a traditional cat down in the chat. Vadim Abramov with that RTR Mustang. Levy is going to be in that BMW. Coming in here. Huge initiation from Levy. Having to left foot brake to stabilize his car so he could keep in drift. Straight aggressive flick in the chase. Vadim Abramov is just filling out each zones unfazed, not knowing what happened in the back. But Levy got super aggressive to keep it. Oh, a little bit of a correction on the final part of that lap. But that was a baller initiation in the chase. It looked like Levy came in with too much speed and he backied into the pocket of Vadim Abramov. Oh, mercy. Here we go. Levy just letting it all hang out there. Vadim Abramov is just trying to keep that proximity right off the rip. A little bit of a shallow angle, but keeping that proximity all the way throughout outer zone 1 and 2. Inner clip is beautiful from both drivers. Levy filling out each zone. Vadim Abramov is just taming the beast right now, getting door to door with Levy to the final outer zone. And Vadim Abramov is super smooth in the chase. Levy does a fantastic job in the lead. Beautiful runs from both of the drivers. And it looks like Vadim Abramov gets the win and moves on to the top 16 battles. I don't think Vadim was expecting that right off the rip. Beautiful runs from both of these drivers. Next, we have German versus Danny Robeco. You have Danny's going to be in the 80 Supra. German is going to be in one of my favorite cars, Dodge Viper. German Golu Bev coming out here with that Dodge Viper coming in. Nice flick into that first outer zone. A little bit of contact from the chase driver right off the rip. German's filling out as much as possible. He missed that second outer zone, but he's coming in and in the rest of these zones, keeping a mid line, being as aggressive as possible Danny did force a contact in the beginning of that lap, the first half of that lap. We'll see how German performs in the Dodge Viper. Here we go. Waiting for the lights. Danny's going to be in the lead. German's going to be in the chase. Here we go. Top 32 battle. German used some e-brake to kind of slow his way down into the pocket of Danny. Keeping a active chase. A little bit of contact on outer zone 3. And it looks like another contact on transition from German. We have our judges going to be looking over the replays. This was a questionable battle here because it could go either way going into the contacts. There was a little bit of a forced contact on the initiation from Danny in the chase, but then you're going into outer zone 3 and 4 of Danny's lead, and the forced contact from German actually kind of definitely forced him to straighten out a little bit. But we got to figure out on the second contact if there was a second contact, he forced him to straighten out. They're going to be looking at the telemetry of the track of the lap, actually seeing what caused it, if it was him going offline or was it lifting off the throttle, so on and so forth. You're seeing the lead run on the screen. German doing a great job, but then that, I don't know if he had enough momentum to go to outer zone 2. That it kind of forced the contact as the chase driver. You're going to slow down on outer zone 1 as much as possible to try to get, you want to slow down enough so you have enough momentum going to outer zone 2, but I think you probably slowed down just a little too much. We won't know. We'll see how the judges relay this information. Next battles we'll be seeing is Braden Swan and Michael Traub. Looks like the judges have come to a decision. Danny gets the win. Now we're going to see Braden Swan versus Michael Traub. Braden Swan in the 370Z. And you have Michael Traub in that S15. Braden Swan is running that 370Z AOM livery. Spoken about them previously on the rounds. Here we go. Braden Swan coming in. Beautiful initiation. Nice Scandinavian flick to that first outer zone. Just hucking that thing into each zone. But my goodness, Michael Traub is keeping that proximity throughout outer zone 1 and 2 into that inner clip, giving them some room on these transitions. But it looks like that was a little bit too much room as Braden Swan is coming out here and filling out each zone. being super aggressive and attacking each zone as a surgeon. Ooh. I think it came up with a possible nickname. Let's see how Braden performs out here. Michael Traub in the lead. Braden in the chase. See Braden Swan. See if he flies right into the pocket. Giving him some room. Now he's diving right in. Oh, no. A little bit of a straighten from Braden Swan, but Michael Traub goes a little bit off track. Twice tire dropping. Michael Traub is trying to keep everything in control. Braden Swan was just trying to keep proximity throughout each zone. And Braden Swan gets the win. Moves on to the top 16. We already see our top 16 battles forming up. Vadim Abramov versus Danny. Danny's in that A80 Super we saw before. Vadim Abramov is in that RTR Mustang. Braden Swan is in that 370Z. And now we have another A80 Supra versus an S15. Here we go. Mikhail versus Konstantin. Mikhail coming in. Nice e-brake initiation. Konstantin, oh, looks like he backied into it. Has to cut the track to get back into the fight. And this is going to force a huge mess up for Konstantin. Fortunately, he is not Keanu Reeves and fighting through each zone. It's a huge mistake for him. We have Mikhail now has to do an active chase into A80 Supra. Konstantin is trying to keep. I don't think he saw the lights on the previous run. But we'll see how. Mikhail is just keeping that proximity and getting super aggressive with it. Don't think he needed that aggressive initiation, but he's still doing it. Konstantin is filling out each zone, a little bit of a contact to push Konstantin through the track. Going into the final outer zone. And Mikhail is just being super aggressive with the proximity. We have the judge is looking over the replays right now. I had a little tiny come into the office, waking up for his already had his breakfast lined up for him. Apologize for the little delay on that. But we're talking about these drivers out here. I believe Danny, one of the judges, you have Konstantin and Mikhail. These guys were out there slugfesting it, but the judges are going to be looking at what's causing these contacts, because that's where it all comes down to. If the lead, one of the drivers was at fault throughout the whole lap of forcing the contact, and definitely We know who's at fault. But if it was equally shared fault, that's where it comes into like the nitty gritty, into the one more times. But you're seeing the replays out here. Mikael with the 80 super, being super aggressive, filling out each zone and being clean as possible throughout this whole track. A little bit of a tire drop, but it looks like Mikael gets to win and moves on to the top 16 battle. So you're going to see Vadim Abramov versus Danny, and then Braden Swan versus Mikael. Danny is in that 80 Supra. You're going to see two 80 Supras in the top 16 battles. But we have Vadim Abramov and the RTR Mustang going to be in the lead. Lights are gone. Here we go. Vadim Abramov with a nice initiation going into that first outer zone. Oh, that surge from the chase driver pushed Vadim Abramov, but Vadim Abramov was able to reel it back in to get back in to the track. That force contact was huge. But Vadim Abramov is a class act, filling out each zone, being super aggressive, and then Danny is just trying to correct his mistakes by being really close in proximity. It's an unfortunate upset on there. Looks like they're going to do a rerun on that. I think it was possible connection issue that happened. There you go. Vadim Abramov now in the lead. Huge initiation from Vadim Abramov, but Danny is keeping proximity right off the rip and just getting super aggressive, staying on the door of Vadim Abramov. These two drivers are fighting it out throughout this track on A-Tron, all the way through Outer Zone 4. Outer Zone 5 is gangster from both drivers, getting doors, baby. Wow. And we have Vadim Abramov now have to get that proximity right there throughout each zone. And he's in the lead. Vadim Abramov in the chase. Here we go. Danny coming out here in the 80 Supra, big Scandinavian flick into that first out of zone, and Vadim Abramov just gets right into that pocket, tapping that door, going all the way through, giving him a little bit of room, bumper to bumper transition. Yet again, my goodness, Vadim Abramov is just mirroring angle, speed, and aggression of Danny, not leaving any room for error from both of these drivers. Beautiful performance from Danny and Vadim, both of them in the chase, being super aggressive, getting pockets all day long, asking for pocket change so they could pay for their toll money. My goodness, that was insane. And then Vadim Abramov gets out of the pit and just boops Danny. That was pretty funny to watch. Beautiful performance from both of these drivers, man. Holy smokes. That was insane. I think the judges have to go to the replay to see who made the most mistakes. This is a very tit for tat kind of battle. Vadim Abramov being super aggressive, diving into the pocket throughout each zone, giving him just enough room to transition so he could dive right back in. And my goodness, Vadim Abramov was just being as smooth as butter, but it could be the same with Danny throughout each zone. This was absolutely nuts. Daniel was insane out there with the A80 Supra. This is the type of battle I wouldn't mind watching one more time. See who's more consistent. If you're gonna go nitty gritty, you're gonna see how Annie was a little bit shallow on the initiation of that first outer zone to try to keep that proximity, and then he just was sticking it on him throughout the whole track. Beautiful performance from both of these guys. Looks like the judges have come to the decision. Vadim Abramov gets the win. Good runs from both of these drivers. That was a very that was a hard battle to judge. Very tit for tat. Maybe it came down to how much contact Danny had in the chase going through each zone compared to Vadim. Vadim had the same almost same proximity. Very similar proximity from both drivers, but one was having more contact compared to the other. Now we have Braden Swan versus Mikael. Braden Swan with that 370 Supra, and then we have the A80 370 Supra. Jesus, the 370Z going in that first outer zone. Beautiful from Braden Swan, just being straight on rails, being smooth and consistent. Just enough angle through each zone, filling it out. You have Mikael with the A80 Supra, just being straight gangster and trying to be that guy and reel him in. But Braden Swan is very surgical throughout this whole track. Here we go. Mikael in the A80. Braden Swan in the 370Z. Huge initiation from Braden Swan. A little bit of a correction and bobble from outer zone 1 and 2. Mikael is just filling out each zone, minding his own day like he is going through a walk in the park, skipping through daisies all the way through each zone, being super aggressive and filling out him all the way through. Braden Swan is being super aggressive in that pocket as well. Looks like Braden Swan gets the win. Now we're going to see the battle from Vadim, the Count Abramov versus Braden, the Surgeon Swan. Here we go. Vadim Abramov coming in here. Beautiful initiation to that first outer zone. Filling out outer zone 2, rubbing the back bumper against that wall. Braden Swan is just keeping proximity, use some left for braking to slow down his momentum just enough to stay right there in an active chase. Huge angle. Going all the way through and then getting super aggressive door to door throughout each zone. And we're going to have them switch sides. Vadim gonna be in the chase. Braden Swan in the lead. Here we go. The battle to move on to the final four to go against Alexi. Braden Swan versus Vadim, the Count Abramov. Beautiful initiation from Braden Swan, getting super aggressive. Vadim Abramov just diving right into the pocket all the way through to enter clip one. Beautiful performance from both of these drivers. Braden Swan is giving them that door, and Vadim Abramov is just pushing Braden throughout the whole track. Stellar performance from both drivers. Just gonna look over those replays. There was some contact, so they're gonna look into everything that's going on. And it actually looks like Vadim Abramov gets the win. It moves on to the final four. It was a beautiful performance from Braden, being very surgical and methodical throughout each zone. It seems like a little bit of a advantage from Vadim Abramov that gets him that win. It gets him into that final four battle. Beautiful performance from both of those drivers. We're going to be loading up our next group. It's going to be Group C. We have two more groups before we go into our final four battle. All right, we're loading back into the server. Now we're on the right side of this bracket. Got Stanislav Tarasov. You have Ilya Kolesnikov. Gonna be the first battle. You have Gregory Andreev, as well as he's another known driver out here in IVDC. And then in Group D, you're gonna see a community favorite, Tim Roberts. If you guys are wondering, this is a championship series where the first place begin some goodies. First, second, and third place will be getting some goodies this year. All right, we got people stopping practice, getting everybody lined up. You have Stanislav Tarasov. You're going to be in the lead. We're waiting for Ilya Kolesnikov. S15. Stanislav is in that Ferrari F99. There he goes. He was a little bit probably taking a sip of his Red Bull Monster, whatever it was. Had myself a little bit of tea this morning, so I'm a little bit chipper. Not too crazy, like normal. But we have these drivers coming out here. Stanislav is going to be in the lead versus Ilya. Looks like they're correcting placement of that F99. Here we go. First battle of Group C. Top 32. That's our green. Let's see how Stanislav comes out here with that Ferrari. Straight up gapped him right off the line. Stanislav is filling out each zone. Little to no input of that steering wheel. Stanislav is going right there, letting the car drive itself throughout each zone. Beautiful performance from him in the lead. Ilya is trying to fight through and keep that proximity. Now we have Stanislav going to be in the chase. Ilya is going to be in the lead. Stanislav did a great job of just getting into that initiation, using that momentum, keeping that car stable throughout each zone. Then we have Ilya gonna be in the S15. A little bit squirrely off the line from Ilya. Huge initiation from outer zone 1. Trying to dive right into that wall, and my goodness, man, Stanislav is just straight getting right into the door of Ilya. So outer zone 4, beautiful. Little bit of a tire drop from Ilya, but filling out each zone, doing a beautiful job in the lead, giving Stanislav that door. And it looks like Stanislav gets the win and moves on. Top 16 battle. Next we have a bye run from Alexander Malikov. So it'll be Alexander and Stanislav. Stanislav Tarasov versus Alexander Malikov. We're going to see in the top 16 battle. We'll let Alexander take it away. Beautiful run from Alexander. Just warming himself up, getting himself ready. Next, we have Grigory Andreev versus Sergey Aldanov. Gregory is also in a Ferrari F99, and Sergey is in the E92. I love how these drivers are utilizing the public pack. But here we go. Gregory is going to be in the lead on that black Ferrari. He's been super top notch in each of the rounds. Gregory is filling out each zone, and look at Sergey coming out here with that E92, being super aggressive, trying to dive into the pocket of that Ferrari. Yo, that slow down to get right in and mirroring angle. Sergey out here just getting doors with Gregory. For the battle started, I was gonna say it's great to see people in this public car pack, because it shows you don't need a private car or a custom car to compete in these battles. You see Sergey just out here shredding with that E92. Sergey getting super rowdy with that E92. Beautiful. See how Gregory comes out here with that Ferrari. Nice initiation from Sergey, going all the way out, filling out outer zone 2, and leaving a little bit of a gap all the way through. A beautiful lead run from Sergey. A little bit of a tire drop on outer zone 4, but still unfazed. Momentum is unmatched, smooth as butter, committed on each zone. Good Lord, Sergey came out of nowhere and just straight doored people. What is going on? It's gonna be funny if one of the production guys say, yeah, Sergey's he drives in real life. So you're doing beautiful job out there in the lead and chase. You notice the momentum Sergey was having through each zone in the lead, and just keeping it and staying committed on each transition, little to no tire input, letting his car just do the work for him, using some throttle modulation throughout each zone. A little bit of a left foot brake, a little bit, but it wasn't too much. Just stabilize the car, you know. Beautiful performance from him. It looks like it's going to be a one more time battle. That's awesome. I'd love to see it. More drifting. These two drivers drove beautifully. Well, let's see if consistency thrives through these drivers. Gregory Andreev is going to be in the lead. Sergey is going to be in the chase. Judges are here. Gregory coming in here. Nice initiation to that first outer zone. It looks like a little bit of a decel and a little bit of a contact. between both of the drivers. Sergey dives into that pocket, transitions a little bit too far forward into the pocket of Gregory, but he is being super aggressive as possible. Sergey is just being as much of a pest in the chase, and it's beautiful to see him being super aggressive. But that far forward lurch or lean into that pocket is going to be a possible mistake that could cost him the battle. But beautiful performance from Sergey. Now we have Gregory. Gregory's going to be in the chase. Sergey's going to be in the lead. You're going to have Sergey reline up. Here we go. The lights are green. Boom. Nice initiation from Sergey. Beautiful chase run so far from Gregory. Just being as... Oh, it looks like a little bit of a straighten. Sergey probably decelled that caused him to get offline. Big correction. Sergey was not even in outer zone 4. It looks like it's going to be a one more time as well. You're going to run that back. That was unfortunate. Gregory in the lead. Sergey in the chase. Our second one more time battle. Nice initiation from Gregory. Sergey is shallowing up some angles so he could dive back into that pocket. Nice transition from Gregory. Yet again, Sergey is a little bit far forward in that pocket on outer zone 3, but Gregory is just filling out each zone, being super aggressive all the way through. Sergey getting door to door throughout each section. Here we go. Sergey out here. E92. Wow, super aggressive from Gregory. Going all the way through and being a straight savage in the chase. All the way in to the outer zone 4. Being as super aggressive as possible to not leave it to the judges' hands. And beautiful performance from both drivers yet again. Second OMT, the first OMT was a little bit of a bobble, but this performance was crazy. I think this might be the clear-cut decision that the judges will have. Yep, it looks like Gregory Andreev gets the win. He's out there with that Ferrari. Now we're gonna have Zaidrunas versus Abasov. Zaidrunas is in that E36 and Abasov is in that M2. Abasov coming out here straight speed and momentum throughout that first outer zone. Oh no, Zythrunas, it looks like he was a little too spicy going into that first outer zone and losing that proximity, tire dropping going into outer zone 2. But now we have Abyssov just being straight dialed in, filling out each zone, going all the way out to the finish line. Winner of this battle moves on to go against Gregory Andreev. Top 16 battle so far is going to be Stanislav Tarasov versus Alexander Malikov. Here we go. Zythrunas versus Abyssov. Zythrunas, huge initiation to that first outer zone. Be super aggressive. Reaching out to that wall. Use some left foot braking to kind of stabilize his car into the inner clip. Zythrunas is using that momentum as much as possible to reach out to each zone. Oh, it looks like a shutdown from Zythrunas on the final outer zone. Abyssov gets the win. Now we're gonna see a Stanislav. We're gonna see two Ferraris in this top 16 battle. In the top 16 battles, not this battle. We have Alexander coming up to the line right now. That S14.9. Stanislav in the Ferrari F99. Let's see how Stanislav performs out here. Nice initiation from Stanislav. Getting himself locked in, getting all the way to that wall. Beautiful. Going into inner clip 1. Alexander is struggling. I had to cut the track, getting a little bit offline to go in to outer zone 4, all the way to the final outer zone. Stanislav was very committed throughout each zone. Now we're gonna have them switch sides. Stanislav is gonna be in the chase. Alexander is gonna be in the lead. Here we go. Alexander coming in, e-brake pull into outer zone 1. Stanislav is just keeping proximity, dabbing on that left foot brake to stay right there. And Alexander is doing a good job filling out each zone so far. Nice lead run from Alexander. Stanislav is keeping that proximity and being super aggressive. Losing some proximity towards the end, but then diving right back into the pocket, reeling him in. It looks like Stanislav gets the win. Moving on to the grade A battle. Now we have Gregory Andreev versus Abyssov. Here we go. Gregory, the black Ferrari, coming in with a nice initiation, going into that first outer zone. Beautiful performance right there from both drivers, as Abyssov is just trying to keep into that pocket and trying to keep that proximity right off the rip. You can't let Andreev walk away with proximity. He's losing them just a little bit in outer zone 4, but then diving right back in to the final outer zone. A back and forth battle throughout that lap. We'll see how Abyssov performs in the lead and Gregory performs in the chase. I can see here Gregory Andreev being as super aggressive as possible. Kind of like how Stanislav was previously, just not letting the judges make it hard for the judges. Let's put it that way. Here we go. Abizov coming in. Nice initiation to that first outer zone. And here comes Gregory Andreev getting right into the pocket and diving as super aggressive as possible on that first outer zone to outer zone 2. Outer zone 3 is beautiful from both drivers, mirroring each other all the way out to the final outer zone. Outer zone 5 is beautiful as Abizov and Gregory Andreev just out there just being super clean. Gregory Andreev gets the win. Now we're gonna see a battle of Ferraris. Stanislav Tarasov is going to be in that red Ferrari, the Shell logo on the side. You have Gregory Andreev in the black Ferrari. Here we go. Battle of Ferraris. Stanislav, nice aggressive initiation. Door to door, right off the rip from Gregory Andreev. Stanislav rubs his bumper against that back wall all the way in to the outer zone 3. Beautiful from both drivers, mirroring each other, being super aggressive, getting doors all the way through 4 and 5. Oh, mercy. These guys drove through that track. They were so smooth, kind of smooth like my Riz when I was in high school. But my goodness, Stanislav is out there doing a great job in the lead, and you have Gregory just being there as pretty much a emotional support animal. It was beautiful. Gregory Andreev is now in the lead. Stanislav is in the chase. Very aggressive for both drivers, rubbing that back bumper on the initiation. And here comes that second outer wall, or second outer zone, excuse me, going into outer zone 3. Beautiful driving for both drivers. All the way to the outer zone 4. A little bit of shallower angle going into outer zone 5, but then diving right back in. Stanislav was just out there, put it on a clinic. So was Gregory. Now we have the judges having to look back at the tape. Beautiful. That was insane. Insane driving from both drivers. You see Stanislav shallowed up on angle to keep that proximity and touch that door, but then mirrored going to outer zone 4 and just diving as much as possible. Don't know if that was a connection issue or if there was actual contact going to outer zone 4 to 5, that transition. Judges are looking through the replays to see who is going to be moving on to the Final Four battle. Super aggressive from both drivers. Pretty sure they drive with each other very often. Just by how you see how they drove these 2 laps, to tell the chemistry they have with each other. Looks like the judges have come to a decision. Is it one more time? For these 2 drivers. We're going to see them rip it up again. They have 2 more laps to show who's boss. Here we go. Stanislav is going to be in the lead. Gregory is going to be in the chase. Nice initiation from Stanislav. Oh, Gregory was a little bit too far forward in the pocket on initiation, but was able to reel himself in. Made a huge mistake going and to outer zone 1 and 2, but man, Gregory is struggling a little bit compared to what we've seen before. Stanislav is doing a great job in the lead. A little bit of a door tap at the end. Now we have Stanislav in the chase. Gregory's in the lead. Gregory's going to be in the lead coming out here. Stanislav is going to be in the chase right here. Getting super aggressive right off the rip. Getting that proximity. Stanislav is being as safe as possible, but as aggressive at the same time. Giving him enough room to transition, but making sure that he makes no contact and being as smooth as possible and mirroring the image all the way through the whole track. Beautiful performance from both drivers. This looks like more of a clear-cut decision compared to the previous. And it looks like Stanislav gets the win, moves on to the top 4. we're gonna be switching servers. We're gonna get ready for the last group of the top 32, and then we go into the final 4 battles. All right, we're loading into Group D. This is the bottom right half of the bracket. Then we move on after this group, do another server change, and then it will be the final 4 battles. We have Nikolai versus Paul versus, and then we have Vitaly versus Alexander. Then we have Tim Roberts versus Haristo. And then we have Pasha versus Platon. Tim Roberts and his iconic S14. Been driving that S14 almost every competition I've seen him in. All right. Letting the drivers warm up a little bit. And get situated. All right, we're having them stop practice. Here we go. First battle of Group D. You have Nikolai versus Paul. Nikolai is coming in here with that blue S15. Paul with that E92 Eurofighter. Falling behind of Nikolai. Not gaining any proximity so far throughout the track. He has opportunities throughout the whole track, but it looks like it's on the borderline of an inactive chase. Nikolai nails that finish line pole. Now we're gonna have Paul coming out here and leading. Here we go. Let's see if Paul can perform out here. Nikolai being as aggressive as he needs to be, getting an active chase right here. Paul is just filling out that outer zone 2. And a good job. It looks like slowed down enough going to outer zone 4. 3 and 4. It looks like a possible connection issue, or he's just lifting off throttle that's causing the contact. Don't know what's going on there. I think the judges are clear on who they're going to choose. Oh, yep. If you notice on the transition, the loss of smoke there, it looks like he possibly e-braked. Or lifted off throttle. We talked about that earlier. And Nikolai gets the win and moves on. The top 16 battle. Next battle we have coming up here. Gonna be Vitali versus Alexander. Looks like Alexander, it's a no-show. Vitali's gonna get a bye run. Vitali's gonna go out here. We'll have him take it away with his S chassis, go through into this track, seeing what we can do. Vitali just out there shredding tires, having fun with it. You'll see Nikolai and Vitali in the top 16 battle. Next, we have Tim Roberts versus Hristo. Hristo is going to be in the chase. Tim Roberts is going to be in the lead. Tim Roberts, also known as Faded in the Assetto community. Let's see how Tim Roberts performs out here. Tim Roberts in the lead. Just straight gunning it from the line to outer zone 1. Risto is trying to regain some ground, a shallowing up angle and diving as close as possible. But Tim Roberts is just using all the momentum, the weight transfer to go all throughout the track, hitting each zone, being super smooth. Beautiful. See how Tim Roberts performs in the chase, if he's going to be super aggressive, knowing that possibly as a spotter saying, hey, just keep an active chase, get on it. Don't be too aggressive that you cause a contact. Let's get this clean win. Risto is now in the lead. Tim Roberts in the chase. Very aggressive initiation from Aristo. I had to kind of correct some angles so he could stay in the line. Aristo seems to be a little bit too gripped up going into outer zone 3. All the way to outer zone 4. But man, Tim Roberts just being as clean as possible and getting throughout each zone as active as he needs to be to win the battle. And Tim Roberts gets the win. Looks like another bye run, so we know Tim Roberts is going to be going against Pasha. Probably sitting back and studying this run. Maybe just taking a sip of his coffee, whatever it is. Just vibing out. Maybe listening to some music, some K-pop. Maybe some Britney Spears. Tim Roberts would probably be doing. Pasha's out here just shredding that A80 Supra. Feel like Tim Roberts is more of an NSYNC man, you know, listening to NSYNC while getting ready to battle. We'll see. Now we're at the last two battles of our top 16, and then we're going to see who moves on to the Grade 8. Nikolai is going to be in the lead. Vitaly is going to be in the chase. 2S chassis. Nikolai, huge angle going into that first outer zone. Going into outer zone 2. Beautiful chase run from Vitaly. Just staying right there as aggressive as he can be. Loses some proximity in outer zone 3. Outer zone 4. Beautiful transition from both drivers going all the way through to outer zone 5. A little bit of a hiccup from Vitaly going into outer zone 5, but very stellar performance from both drivers, being super clean and consistent throughout each zone. Let's see how the switch sides affects the drivers. You got Nikolai in the chase, Vitaly in the lead. You have a battle right here, S14 versus S15. Vitaly going right into outer zone 1, and Vitaly taps the wall, but Nikolai is right there being super aggressive, even a little bit of a love tap to Vitaly. Going into outer zone 4 and 5 all the way through. Vitaly made a big crucial mistake tapping that outer wall on outer zone 2. Looks like Nikolai gets the win. Next battle will be Tim Roberts versus Pasha. Pasha is going to be in the chase. Tim Roberts is going to be in the lead. AAD Super versus the S14. Tim Roberts. Tim Roberts is going to take the lead on this one first. Here he goes. Let's see if Tim Roberts would fade Pasha into memory of this competition. Tim Roberts being super aggressive and consistent on each lap he does. Beautiful performance from him. Oh, contact from Pasha that pushes Tim Roberts offline. Tim Roberts is able to get back into a fight. Get back into the zone. Beautiful transition from both drivers on that final outer zone. And Pasha just mirrors the image, gets literally right next to him. And we're going to have Tim Roberts in the chase. Tim Roberts. Pasha coming in here. Nice initiation. E-brake pull all the way through. Tim Roberts is just using some left foot braking to keep that proximity. And Pasha is just being straight aggressive going into outer zone 3. Here's outer zone 4. Tim Roberts is getting door to door through each zone and mirroring Pasha and not making contact through him without any corrections. Everything is just beautiful, smooth from both drivers. Pasha's lead run was filling out each zone. Tim Roberts was in the chase, didn't force a contact with the lead driver. It was very clean and consistent. You got Pasha making some contact, being very aggressive as well. Final outer zone, putting some pressure on Tim Roberts. You're seeing the judges going to be figuring out who is moving on to the grade 8 battle. Judges are determining what's going on here. Looks like Pasha gets the win, moves on. Tim Roberts getting knocked off of the competition. Now we have our battle to go into the finals. Pasha is going to be in the chase. Nikolai is going to be in the lead. Here we go. Nikolai coming in with that S chassis, being as clean as possible on that initiation. A little e-brake tap on that initiation, but my goodness, Pasha is just getting that momentum and staying same proximity throughout each zone. Nikolai is filling out each zone. No left foot brake throughout. A lot of throttle modulation from both drivers. This is gonna figure out who is gonna be battling Stanislav. Here we go. Nikolai is gonna be in the chase. Pasha's in the lead. Beautiful initiation for both drivers. Left foot brake from the chase driver right there. Coming through in interclip 1, Pasha is pouring on the angle and the smoke through outer zone 3 and 4. Beautiful driver for both drivers. Oh my goodness, the snap that Pasha had to outer zone 5. Looked like he was about to over rotate, but got his car in lock and just throttled it all the way out. It looks like Nikolai gets the win. He's moving on to the final 4. We're going to have another server reset. And this is going to be a spicy battle, because I believe we have 2 drivers that haven't made a podium this series, which is very exciting for both of the drivers. Nerves probably getting the best of him a little bit, but trying to calm himself down. You have Stanislav and Vadim Abramov, familiar in being on the podium. 2 Titans out here. You're going to see a David and Goliath story on both sides of this bracket. Beautiful performance from everybody out here. All right, we're loading into our top 4 server right now. This is round 5 of 6. So we have one more stop. It's going to be on May 11th. We'll name our champion. First place will be winning a Moza 9 and an RS bundle. Second place will move to win a Moza sequential shifter. And third place will get a Moza handbrake. This is our final 4 battles. Hope you guys are excited. These guys are getting locked in. as much as possible. Here we go. Final four battle. You got Vadim Abramov is going to be in the chase with that RTR Mustang. And we have Alexei in the lead with that R34. Alexei coming out here. Vadim Abramov is not pulling back any punches. Alexei is going to outer zone 2. Beautiful. Filling it out, but Vadim Abramov is being super aggressive as possible. Locking in. Bringing it up a gear and going into outer zone 4. A tire drop from Alexei. That could be a crucial mistake. But Vadim Abramov is being super spicy and not letting any room for error for the lead driver. And we're going to have Vadim Abramov in the lead now. And Alexei is going to be in the chase. He's got to apply that pressure. Vadim Abramov versus Alexei. Alexei in the chase. Alexei trying to get that jump. Vadim Abramov is being as... Oh, there's some contact on initiation. That's a big mistake from Alexei. Not giving him room to initiate. Trying to be as aggressive as possible, but Vadim Abramov is unfazed, still filling out each zone. And just straight aggressive all the way through the track. Beautiful. That contact on initiation is probably going to be the nail in the coffin for Alexei, but that gives him an opportunity to still podium if he does lose. Loser moves on. To the battle for third place. Excuse me, the Liquid Death is starting to fight me right now. Looks like Alexei gets the win. Vadim Abramov is going to be in the battle for third place. Possibly it has to do with the contact on initiation. Probably purposely moved into the chase driver. We don't know. We'll see. Now we have our second half of the top four. Stanislav is going to be in the lead. Nikolai in the chase. Stanislav coming in here. Beautiful angle into that first outer zone. Stanislav has been on rails throughout this whole competition. So enter clip 1, beautiful. Outer zone 2, 3, and 4 coming in. Insane. But you have Nikolai right there just hanging on to the coattails and reeling himself in every chance he can get. You have Stanislav going to be in the chase with that Ferrari. Knows Nikolai put some pressure on him. Probably hurt him throughout each zone. But now we got Nikolai in the lead and see if Stanislav can stay right there in the pocket, be as super aggressive but cleaner Nikolai drags his wing on that outer wall on outer zone 2. Beautiful positioning for Nikolai, going to outer zone 4 all the way through. And Stanislav is being as aggressive as he needs to be with little to no contact. We'll see how the judges deem this. Looks like there might be a replay review going on. Winner moves on to the battle of first and second place. Loser moves on to the battle of third and fourth place. We have Vadim on the battle for third and fourth place, and Alexei is going to be in the battle of first and second place. I think there might be a protest going on as well. Judges are reviewing some footage to see who's going to be moving on. That theme song, or not the theme song, the song from the trailer for IVDC stuck in my head. And I know Ivan is probably in production listening in on me. Thank you. I've been singing that song in my head throughout the whole competition today. We're watching these replays going back and forth, and these drivers have been showcasing their talent on this track. Said earlier today, starts off high speed, then technical towards the end, but these guys have been showing their prowess. For you guys that are watching in the chat, who are you going for to see podium today? We already know one person is guaranteed a spot on the podium. That's Alexei. Out of this battle, who do you want to see go on to the podium battle? First and second place. Captain Morgan in my cup. Dang it, man. Judges are being very surgical on what's going on through the replay, trying to figure out who's at fault, what mistakes were drawn. We'll see what the judges will be coming up on this decision. Looking at the replay, I think they've come to the decision, and Nikolai is getting the win. Now it's Stanislav versus Vadim Abramov. Stanislav is going to be in the lead. Vadim Abramov is going to be in the chase. This is the battle for third place. Vadim Abramov is in the chase with that RTR Mustang. Stanislav is getting that 599 Ferrari. Vadim Abramov is going to be very hyped up and aggressive on this run. Side to side initiation, beautiful from Vadim Abramov, being super aggressive. Oh, Stanislav taps the wall, spins himself out, becoming a part of that wall. Vadim Abramov was super aggressive on initiation, no contact made, and just showing who's boss on that battle. That's unfortunate from Stanislav. You know, he's known he's made that mistake. This is a big upset. Unfortunate for him. Now we got Vadim Abramov in the lead. Battle for third place. Vadim is lining himself up. And after this, we got the battle for first and second place. Vadim Abramov coming out here. Stanislav isn't given an aggressive approach on initiation, but now he's diving into that pocket of Vadim Abramov, diving into that inner clip one. Boom! Vadim Abramov going into outer zone 3. Good! All the way to outer zone 4. Vadim Abramov is just trying to get a complete lead run, and Stanislav is getting super aggressive, trying to apply pressure, but I don't think that pressure will cause Vadim Abramov to zero out his lead run. And now the judges are going to be looking at the replay to make sure that there was no contact made. As Doctor said, spin to win. Spin to win. Maybe you won a grand prize. Oh, man, that is unfortunate for Stanislav. It's not normal for Stanislav to do that. He was on the rails the whole day and made a big mistake on outer zone 2. Vadim Abramov knew he had to make a consistent lead run, just be as conservative as he needed to be to fill out each zone, get all the way through. And then at the end of the run, the team was doing some donuts at the end, doing some 360s. Man. We got chaos at Atron. The battle for first and second place is going to be Alexei versus Nikolai. Kind of getting antsy in their seats, in their sim rigs. So we're looking at the replay of Stanislav's lead run. We'll see how the run goes, and if there was a forced error. I'm trying to see if there was some contact made, but I don't know if there was contact made going to push Stan into the wall. It looked like he was just right there in the pocket. You got the drivers talking in chat, trying to figure out what's going on. Man, these judges are looking at this replay very, very in depth. I'm guaranteeing they're probably looking at from outer zone 1 to 2 if Avramov did force some contact, but I don't think it was some contact made. I don't see the contact, but possibly there was. It's very, very hard to determine on these replays to see what happened there. some of these drivers are feeling like they're getting iced. The first and second place guys were probably like, oh, I just want to run, man. I can imagine that feeling when you're at the final portion of the competition where you're in a battle for first, second place, and you're locked in the zone, and then just this delay between this kind of a judgment call for the guys that are in the booth judging it. It's unfortunate that these drivers get iced like this, but making sure that they're making the right decision for the battle is paramount. Okay, it looks like they're coming back in. And are they coming to a decision? And it looks like Stanislav gets the win. Looks like there was a contact from outer zone 1 and 2. That is unfortunate for Vadim Abramov. Very super aggressive on that initiation, but Stanislav gets the win, wins third place. Now we got the battle for first and second place. Alexei is going to be in the lead. Nikolai is going to be in the chase. Here we go. Battle for first and second. The lights are going green right now. Alexei is getting that R34. Nikolai in that S15 coming in, getting super aggressive and use some left foot brake to dive into the pocket and keep that proximity throughout outer zone 1 and 2. Inner clip 1 is good. Alexei, beautiful transition from both drivers going to outer zone 4 all the way through. A little bit of a tire drop from Alexei, huge angle going to outer zone 5. That forced the choke up from Nikolai. Oh my goodness. These guys are at it right now, at each other's throats to try to figure out who's going to move on. The pressure that was made from Nikolai was insane. People that you haven't seen compete for a first and second place podium in this season. The final battle. And here we go. Nikolai is going to be in the lead. Alexei in the chase. R34 coming in. Oh my goodness. A little bit far forward in the pocket, but dives back in. Deeper into the pocket of Nikolai. Nikolai is being super aggressive. Looks like he shallowed up on angle in outer zone 3. Going into outer zone 4. Alexei is trying to cape that mirror all the way throughout. Now, oh, track. Great performance from these drivers. We'll have the judges determine it, and we'll crown our victor at Atron, the 5th round of IVDC. Here we go. I think the judges are coming up with a decision. Our next round is going to be May 11th, our final round of season 2 of IVDC. If you aren't following International Virtual Drift Champs, on Instagram as International Virtual Drift Champ. Follow them there. Check them out. And it looks like Nikolai gets the win, wins first place. We have Alexei in second. Stanislav in third. I want to thank every one of you that came out to the live stream. My name is Jonathan Tiny Warby, your commentator for IVDC. I want to thank all the partners out here. And we'll see you at round 6.